Hi, I'm going to give you some directions to do part one, recreating what happened to the Mesosaurus in the sim. If you look at my screen, you can see I've got two windows open. This one has the directions in Schoology, and then over here I have the sim for the plate motion. The first direction says open the sim, which we've done, and then it asks you to select region 3. Once you have region 3, it says to use the add rock tool to set up the land as it was when the Mesosaurus was alive. So, what we know for sure is that the Mesosaurus all lived on one continent, and so there was definitely a continent that was kind of right in the middle. We'll just put it right in the middle of the screen. So, we're going to use this tool. We'll come over here and we'll just kind of make a continent like that. And the way that this would work, and the reason we know this, is that the Mesosaurus was able to move around the entire land that it was on, and as it died, it left behind skeletons or footprints, and those things turned into fossils. The next step says to actually use the fossil tool down here, and it just says to drag and drop to fill the continents with fossils. So we're going to select this first one here. It has a foot, and you just drop it there, and it fills the entire continent with fossils. And that makes sense. If the Mesosaurus was moving around, it might live here or go over here. And depending on where it was on the continent when it died, that's where a fossil might form. Step 4 says to use the GPS tool, which we used previously. We're going to go ahead and grab one of those and drop it down next to one of these fossils. I'll just put it right here by this little guy. And then I'm going to use another one and put it on the other side. I'll just drop it by this little guy. And we'll be able to watch those two particular fossils, the one on each side of the plate boundary. Step 5 says to press set boundary and select the plate boundary type. I'm going to scroll down a little so you can see the rest of the directions. But I'm going to come over here, and this just has where we set the boundary, so I click that. You have two choices here. You can do divergent, which is what happens when two plates pull apart, or you can select convergent and how they would push together. I'd like you to try both. It says to set the boundary for which boundary type, but I'd like you to try both so you can see how each one goes and then decide which one is more like what happened on our planet. Now, you might already have an idea about which one is the correct answer, but go ahead and try both anyway, just so that you can collect more evidence to support your claim. Step 6 says to run and observe what happens to the fossils. You just click that over here. Once you collect a boundary, this run will start to blink and you can select that. And then it just says, hey, how far apart are the fossils after 200 million years? Is this what happened to the Mesosaurus fossil? If not, press build and try setting up the landscape differently. So if you come over here, if I just select this one and then I hit run, you can also just hit build, and you can kind of go back and forth between run and build. So after you get a chance to see it, then go ahead and go back to build and clear the boundary and then set it again. But with the opposite one, you can hit run again, and then you can kind of go back to build, so you'll get a chance to see both. Step 8 says, after you have recreated what happened to the Mesosaurus fossil in the sim, take a screenshot that you think best shows what happened to the Mesosaurus fossil. I'm going to show you how to take a screenshot and how to submit that to me using Schoology in the next video. Go ahead at this point and try this out. Open the sim, go back up to step 1, and then when you're done, come back down and watch the second video, which I'll post right here.